This is just as good as Will Tennyson's apple fritter. Having something like this that's this high in protein, this low in calories. Welcome back to the Anabolic Hub, where we make anabolic deliciousness. We're back inside my kitchen today, and we're doing an inspiration recipe. We're gonna put a spin on Will Tennyson's apple fritter recipe by making a blueberry fritter. We're gonna change up some of the ingredients, found the right ratios to make this work. It's gonna be ideal for any weight loss plan, any shredding plan, and certainly any maingaining plan. It's gonna help you get to that next meal, no problem, feeling satisfied, feeling like you're cheating on your diet when you're really not. This is absolutely delicious. Can't wait to share it with you guys. So with no further ado, let's get things started by having a look at the ingredients. Here we go. All-purpose flour, whey or casein, vanilla-based protein powder, Swerve, brown baking powder, the one ingredient to rule them all, salt, ground cinnamon, ground nutmeg, I can't believe it's not butter, the light one, plain non-fat Greek yogurt, any unsweetened nut milk, vanilla extract, Swerve, confectioners, and of course, blueberries. The best part about this recipe is that we're just taking all the ingredients and mixing them together in one bowl. Couldn't get any easier than that. Let's get things started by adding in ingredient number 1, which is going to be 30 grams of our all-purpose flour. Next, we need 31 grams of a vanilla-based protein powder. You can use whey or casein protein powder for this recipe. However, I recommend if you're going to meal prep these, meaning you're not going to eat them immediately after cooking, you should use casein. I found when I do that and I use whey, they are way too dry the next day. So if you're not going to have these right away, I would highly recommend you use a casein protein powder. I am, however, going right over to the taste test table with these, so I'm going to be using 31 grams of a whey protein powder. Vanilla based, of course. Next up, we need 24 grams of our Swerve brown sugar. Then we need 4 grams of our baking powder, not baking soda, baking powder. Then it's going to be a 1/4 teaspoon or about 1.5 grams of the salt. Next up is the ground cinnamon. We need about 1 teaspoon or 2.64 grams going in. Optional ingredient here, but it does add a nice flavor punch. We're going to be putting in a couple dashes of the nutmeg, pretty much to taste. I'm gonna do 3 dashes. Then we need 14 grams or about 1 tablespoon of any light butter. If you don't have light butter, you can use regular butter. It won't make a huge difference on the macros. I'm using, I can't believe it's not butter, the light one. So 14 grams or 1 tablespoon. Using our negative scale measuring system. And once you get all of those ingredients in there and they are on the money, the next step is to mix it all together. Once you have this wet sand type of consistency here, you know that you've mixed enough. Just a friendly reminder to smash the like button. Consider subscribing if you're not subscribed. And if you've tried any of Will Tennyson's recipes, how about his fritter? Anybody tried anything done by him? Curious of your thoughts. Let's talk about it in the comment section. All right, back to the video. And of course, you can't have blueberry fritters without the blueberries. So here we have pre-measured 70 grams of our blueberries on the money, ready to go in. Once your blueberries are in, you just want to give it a quick mix so they get all coated. And once all your blueberries are coated with what you've already mixed together, you're probably wondering, how in the heck are these going to hold together to bake? Well, we need that other magical ingredient that we use so often in these recipes. We're going to be using 84 grams of our plain non-fat Greek yogurt. Again, utilizing our negative scale measuring system here, 84 grams of the non-fat plain Greek yogurt going in. And with what's left on the spoon there, we have 84 grams exactly. Then you want to give it a quick mix. And once you start mixing, you're going to realize you can't really mix great with the spoon, so you're going to have to get dirty a little bit here. Scrape down your spoon and mix the rest together with your bare hands. Once you have all the ingredients well incorporated with your hands, you're nice and dirty, you're gonna go over to your air fryer that you've lined with parchment paper, or you can line a cookie sheet with parchment paper. What we're going to do is, if you're air frying, you're gonna set it to 375 degrees Fahrenheit or 190 degrees Celsius. You're gonna cook it for about 8 to 12 minutes. But if you don't have an air fryer, it works just as well in the regular oven. You can bake at 375 degrees Fahrenheit or 190 degrees Celsius for 15 to 18 minutes. So let's get this dough over to our air fryer, get it on the parchment paper, and get these fritters cooking. So we have the air fryer basket lined with our parchment paper. Now we're gonna make 2 clumps here that's gonna turn into our 2 anabolically delicious fritters. Just make them as messy as possible. Just make sure they're separated. You could do just one if you wanted to. However, I feel like when you have 2 of them, it just feels like you're eating more. So I'm gonna make 2 fritters. Once you have your 2 fritters in there ready to go, nothing left to do now but cook them up. And they're done. Time to let them cool while we make our glaze. So if you saw Will's apple fritter recipe, he used a super simple glaze, which is still good. He used 2 tablespoons of your Swerve confectioners, and he put in some water until he got the right consistency for like a frosting topping. That works well. I find that it has kind of a cooling taste, cooling sensation to that. So I've looked into a couple different ways to still keep it pretty simple, but have the flavor be more like you would expect on a regular type of glaze on a donut or a fritter. So what we're gonna do here, similar to what we did with the chocolate glazed donuts, we're going to still be using our Swerve confectioners. We're going to add in a little bit of nut milk and a few drops of the vanilla extract just to give it more of a balanced flavor. I feel like it takes away that cooling taste sensation that you get with just the Swerve, makes it feel more like an authentic glaze that you get in a donut shop. So we're going to put that together now. We're going to be using our scale again. Going to be measuring out 2 tablespoons or about 16 grams of our Swerve confectioner sugar first. And we are 16 grams on the money with the confectioners. Then with whatever nut milk of choice that you choose, you want to make sure you add just enough to get the consistency that you want. So if you make it too watery, it's not going to work. I would say just add a little itty bitty bit amount, smaller than last time on this. Put in less than you think you need. I'm just gonna pour in a little bit at a time until I get the consistency that I want. So I added about 9 grams of the nut milk and got the consistency that I think works best. So if you're looking for a place to start, I'd start with 9 grams, maybe add in a little bit less, see how it works for you, but you definitely want to add in less than you think you need, because once you add in too much, there's no going back. Whoops, almost forgot to add in the vanilla extract. Just a few drops. Mix it up. All right. We're back at the taste test table yet again to try our blueberry fritters. This one is so simple to make, such a good tasting recipe. You get a good amount of food for the amount of calories that you're having. It's unbelievable. Let's take a minute to appreciate what we've done so far. Give you a close-up look of what our fritters look like. Can see there a decent amount of volume considering the calories. We're gonna take a look at the macros in a second. Once you see them, you guys are gonna be psyched. Let's go into our taste test to see if these are actually any good. I, of course, know that they are delicious. I've had them several times. You can end up using too much Greek yogurt, so you wanna make sure you measure it to a T, the 84 grams of Greek yogurt. One thing you'll notice when you take them out of the air fryer, or even if you take them out of the oven, they're gonna look a little burnt. They're not actually burnt. That's some of the blueberry goodness that is spread throughout the fritter. It's going to be so much flavor when you take a bite. No matter which side or area you take a bite from, you're gonna get a blast of blueberryness. It's gonna be delicious. But let's stop talking about it. Let's give it a try here. We're gonna go with option number 1. Let's do this. Let's break it apart. Oh yeah, all that blueberry goodness in there. Let's take a piece here. So delicious. Let's give it a go. First bite, best bite. Always, don't care what you say. Here it is. Oh yeah. This is just as good as Will Tennyson's apple fritter. It's just as good as the strawberry cheesecake fritter I've done previously. Definitely lives up to it. I really think the glaze makes a total difference. It's a little bit more complicated, couple more ingredients, but totally worth it. Totally worth it. Oh my goodness, so good. The nut milk and the vanilla extract really takes away that cooling sensation that you get with just using the Swerve. What a treat, what a real treat to have. Feels like you're getting so much for the amount of calories that you're eating. Unbelievable sweetness, unbelievable texture. Really feels like you're cheating on your diet here. Having something like this that's this high in protein, this low in calories, makes this anabolic diet totally worth it. And just like that, one of them's gone. So I just have one of them. Granted, it was the bigger of the two. Quite filling, I have to say. I think the amount of protein in this, over 30 grams of protein, really helps keep you satisfied. This is one of those what I call a snack carrier, meaning it's going to carry you to the next meal with ease. You're not going to be thinking about food. Well, maybe you will be thinking about food. I'm always thinking about food. That's why this anabolic stuff is great. But you're not going to be starving. You're not going to be wondering, looking at the clock, when's the next meal going to come? Not going to happen with these. These are so satisfying, so filling. It's going to be about that time. I got to get up out of here, so I'm going to finish this second one off camera. But I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.